Centipede. Centipede.
Sup YouTube, a Visual Gaming Network, and welcome to episode 27 of our Mario game in Java tutorial. Last episode we implemented a live system into our game. This episode we're going to be implementing mini-bosses into our game. Now what I mean by mini-bosses is that when you play Mario games, you in a world, so once in every world you come across a tower, and at the top of the tower there's always this mini tower boss, and that's what we're going to be implementing today. This tutorial's topic was suggested by WolfJR3, so thank you for suggesting that topic, sorry. Okay, so anyway, as you can already tell by the video length, this is a very, very long episode. This is a pretty big topic. The figuring out the code itself took me about 3 hours, so this is very, very long. Okay. So before we actually start getting into the tutorial, I want to make some modifications to the player. First of all, we're just going to open up the player class. Okay, mob player, and I'm actually going to go to the if jumping if statement, and we're going to change gravity minus equals 0.1 to gravity minus equals 0.15, and that'll make our player jump up faster and fall down faster. And in our if jumping if statement, in our if gravity is less than or equal to 0.0 if statement, we're going to change gravity is less than or equal to 0.6. And what this will do is that it would pretty much make our jumping more realistic. So before, you could probably tell we were just flying. So yeah, the reason this is happening is because I said this is a really long topic to cover, and because it took me about 3 hours to figure out the code. There's a lot of code I have to remember, so instead of recording full screen like I usually do, well, mostly full screen, but I actually have another window open next to my recording area, which is pretty much the code for our tower boss. So yeah, I can look at the code if I ever forget it, because of how big this topic is. I think I will forget it a lot. So we'll just have to make do with this for this episode. So yeah, before our player, we can just like jump like we were on the moon or something, but now our jumping's a little more realistic. Our player falls a bit faster. Maybe I can even modify it. Maybe I'll change it to 1.7 and gravity to 0.5. Yeah, we still have 1 life. I should change that back to 5. And there you go. As you can see, our gravity is more realistic. And this is the second topic I wanted to cover before we actually get into our tower boss. As you can see, I jumped on the Goomba. I didn't go to the side of it. It didn't kill me. I jumped right on top of it, but I died. And this bug I discovered while testing. But first of all, I'm just going to change lives to 5. But yeah, as I said, I discovered this bug while testing. What the hell just happens? Whoa. Okay. Wow, I do not know what happened there. Anyway, so to fix the bug, go into the entity class, and because this is called whenever an entity dies, and because our Goomba is an entity, our Goomba dies, and this will be called although we didn't die. So to fix that, we're going to make an if statement. If get ID is equal to id.player, and just copy all of this code into here. So now we'll run our game. Okay, so we'll jump on top of our Goomba. And there you go, we kill him, and we don't get that game over screen for no reason like we usually do. Okay. So now, there was actually 3 problems we had to fix. One of them was, let's just run our game again. Now I'm going to go get our mushroom. Yeah, our mushroom actually doesn't fall, but we'll fix that in a different episode. Yeah, so you can see we go big, but then after that there's a lot of collision detection bugs, as you can see. I try to walk on. Yeah, and yeah, I played around with it and I realized a lot of collision detection bugs. Sorry. So to fix that, so we'll run our game again just to show you. I'm gonna make our big player this size, and our small player 3/4 of this size. So I'm gonna do that now. So we'll go into our player class. Actually, we're gonna go into our handler class, and where we spawn our player at entity new player, we want to change the width and height to 48 and 48. So that's about 3/4 of 64. So now we're going to go into our player class, and yeah, this is where we make our player big. We times the width by 2. So instead, we'll change that to width plus equals width divided by 3. So this will make our width 64 like it was before, because 48 divided by 3 is 16, and 48 plus 16 is 64. And we'll do the same thing to height. Just change width to height. We have to do height plus equals height divided by 3. And go here and change width divided by 2 to width divided by 3. Is it? Yeah, width divided by 3 and height divided by 3. So now we'll run our game. Yeah, it shows we have 5 lives. Okay. Yeah, we get our mushroom. Yeah, there's still that mushroom bug we have to fix. Okay, we'll get our player. A mushroom, sorry. And there you go. As you can see, that we're our size that we were before, and yeah, there's no more collision detection bugs like we were when we were twice as big as this height. So now we're going to actually get into our tower boss thing. So we're going to initialize some variables, go into our entity class, and we're going to create a public boolean, and it's going to be called attackable, and we're going to set it to false. And we're going to create another int, and it's going to be called HP, which stands for health points. It's also lives, health, but if you've played games before, you probably know that HP is a term used in many games. And under ID, we're going to make a public boss state. We're going to create a boss state in a minute, and we're going to call it boss state. Boss state. Okay, so now we're also going to create another public int, and it's going to be called phase time. So, and because bosses have different phases, this is going to track the time of each phase, so we know when to switch to a different phase, stuff like that. And as you can see, we get an error on boss state because we haven't actually created it yet. So just hover over it and click create enum boss state. And in the package, make sure the package is com.tutorial.mario.states. And there's going to be about 5 different states in here. The first is idle, spinning, jumping, running, and what was it? Oh, recovering. Okay, so now I'm just going to close all these classes. We don't need it open. Okay, now we're going to actually create our tower boss class. And before we do that, sorry again, just one more quick thing, I promise, one more. Go into our tile package and we're going to move coin into our entity class. And the reason we do that is because, yeah, you know power blocks. If I keep this tutorial going, then eventually we will very possibly add power blocks. And what that does, in case you didn't know, is that pretty much gives gravity to all the coins nearby. And yeah, tiles don't usually have gravity, they're usually just idle. And they don't have a vel y and vel x integer. So it's easier to just make our coin an entity. But because it's an entity, now we have to make a coin extend entity. Yeah, now we need to change the super. Right, add the constructor. Okay, and now go into our handler class. And we're going to change add tile new coin to add entity new coin. What we also need to do is, because now coin is a tile, then we have to move our coin collision detection thing into an entity, our entity for loop, and that shouldn't take too long. In fact, I'm just going to do it right now. So I'm going to type else if e.get id is equal to id.coin, and then paste the get bounds method I copied and change t to e. Okay, and also remove and t.getId is not equal to id.coin. We put in our if get bounds top.intersects t.get bounds, etc. if statements. Right, just remove that. Oh, there's a really loud lawnmower right outside my house. I'm sorry if you can hear it. I can hear it, but I don't know if you can. I'm sorry if you can. Anyway, now we're going to create our tower boss class. So we're going to go into our mob package, and we're going to create a new class. I'm going to call it tower boss. And because it's an entity, we need to make it extend entity, import entity, make sure to import the right entity, add the constructor, and then add their methods. Yeah, just remove the comments that we don't really need. The override and Toto generated sub thing. Yeah, the only reason they're there, I'm pretty sure, is to let the compiler know. Yeah, it really has no other purpose. So we're going to create two variables. One will be an int. We're going to call it jump time. I'm going to set it to 0. And we're going to create another public boolean, but this time it's going to be called add jump time, and that's going to be false. And in our tower boss constructor, remember that we made an HP integer in our entity class, so we're just going to put that into our constructor. So next to handler.handler, type int HP, then type this.hp is equal to HP. And in our constructor, we'll also set the boss state to be equal to boss state.idle. And idle means nothing. It's pretty much doing nothing at the moment, in case you didn't know. And because I actually didn't make a sprite for our tower boss, because 1, I'm a terrible graphics artist, and 2, I'm lazy. So yeah, I actually made a color code for this sort of thing, which I'm not going to explain. I'm actually just going to copy and paste into here, because it's not really important. You can just copy it, and it's pretty simple. You should know this by now. I don't really have to explain anything. And in our tick method, we're going to type x plus equals vel x, and y plus equals vel y, like we usually do. And under that, type if HP is less than or equal to 0, then die. And under that, we're going to add 1 to FaceTime. So now we're going to go into our player class and copy our entire tile for loop, and we're going to paste that into our tower boss. But we're going to remove things that we don't need. In our if get bounds bottom if statement, in our else if falling and jumping is equal to false, I'm going to remove that. And if t.getId is equal to id.powerup, we're going to remove that as well. And in if jumping and going down pipe is equal to false, we can remove and going down pipe is equal to false. In our if get bounds left dot intersects t dot get bounds if statement, we're going to type if boss state is equal to boss state dot running. Then we're going to set val x to 4. And we're going to copy that and do the same for our get bounds right if statement. But we're going to change set val x4 to set val x negative 4. And because one of the phases of our tower boss will be making our tower boss actually jump, we're going to go into our player class. And we're going to copy the whole jumping if statement and the falling if statement. And we're going to paste that. Let's paste it under our tile for loop. And there we go. So now we're going to create a public void, and it's going to be called choose state. Choose state. And we're actually going to create another variable before our constructor. It's going to be a private variable, and it's going to be a private random variable. I'm going to call it random. And under boss state is equal to boss state dot idle. We're going to set random equal to a new random. Okay, so now we're going to go back to our public void choose state. No. Wow, that lawnmower is really loud. And yeah, anyway, why is there an error? Why is there an error? I don't get it. What? Okay. Can I create another public void? Oh, I was doing that in the tick method. And in case you didn't know, you can't create methods inside of methods. So we got to do it outside the tick method. Public void choose state. And this will pretty much choose one of two states for us, either running or jumping. And because we pretty much programmed a part of running already, we're going to start off with the running. So we're going to type int next phase is equal to random dot next int, and we're going to put in 2. So the output will either be a 0 or a 1. And we're going to type if next phase is equal to 0, then boss state is equal to boss state dot running. Then we're going to create another integer. It's going to be called dir, short for direction, and it'll also equal to random dot next int with the 2 as well. And we're going to type if dir is equal to 0, set val x to negative 4. Then we're going to type else set val x to 4. Alright, and that's pretty much the whole running phase done for us. But now I'm going to actually go into GIMP, and I made a little sort of test thing here. The purple representing the tower boss, the blue representing our player. And yeah, this is just like a little test level for our tower boss. So I'm gonna quickly export it. So now we've got to refresh our project folder. And yeah, we're actually going to load up the level image right now. So we're going to go into our game class, and when we set image to be level.png, we're going to change level.png to tower boss level.png. So now if we run our game, why is there an error? Why is there an error? Oh, we need to remove true, because that was a boolean but for tiles only, and since our coin is now an entity, we don't need it anymore. Okay, so now let's run our game. It shows our screen, and there you go. As you can see that, yeah, we have that little level, but we haven't actually loaded a tower boss. So we're going to do that right now. And our RGB for this tower boss was 255, 0, 255, which makes a nice magenta color, or the hexadecimal if is FF00FF. Most people who know RGB and hexadecimals should know this. This is pretty simple. So if red is equal to 255 and green is equal to 0 and blue is equal to 255, then I'm going to add an entity, new tower boss, x by 64, y by 64. The width and height will be 64 and 64. The ID will be id.towerBoss, and this referring to the handler is pretty simple. We've done this before, and because towerBoss isn't an ID constant yet, and we're just gonna make that right now. So yeah, just hover over the error and click enum, create enum constant towerBoss in ID. Okay. Just let me adjust my microphone a bit. There we go. Now we're going to go back into our tower boss class, and yeah, so when our boss starts, it's obviously going to be idle, and after about let's say 3 seconds, it will change either to jumping or running, because we will be calling this choose state public void. So we're going to program that right now. Under FaceTime ++, we're going to type if FaceTime is greater than equal to 180, which is about 3 seconds, because as you can see, we're ticking at, most of the time it's about 60 ticks per second, so 180 ticks will most likely be about 3 seconds. So FaceTime is greater than equal to 180, and boss state is equal to boss state dot idle. Then we're going to choose state. If that is equal to true, then it's going to call this choose state public void. And under here, we're going to type if boss state is equal to boss state dot jumping, or boss state is equal to boss state dot running. Then we're going to set attackable equal to true. Then we're going to type else attackable is equal to false. And of course, when attackable is equal to true, we can actually attack the boss, and if not, then yeah, we can't attack the boss. And if we try to, then we'll just die. And above that, we're going to type if if boss state is equal to boss state dot idle, or boss state is equal to boss state dot recovering. My typing is terrible today, I'm sorry. And if that's true, we're gonna give our if statement a body, and we're gonna set val x equal to 0 and set val y equal to 0. What's wrong? We set val y. Oh, I didn't spell it wrong. I spelled cell val y, which is kind of weird. Now we're going to program our jumping phase. So, under our tile for loop, we're going to create another for loop, and it's going to be an entity for loop. So, yeah, we're just going to create an entity for loop like we usually do. Entity.size ++. Entity e is equal to handler.entity.getI, and if e.getID is equal to id.player. Now we're going to type the actual proper code. Well, this is proper code, but we're going to type the code that is the code we want. In here, we're going to type if boss state is equal to boss state dot jumping. Spelled boss state wrong again. I always spell it wrong, it's so annoying. And in here, we're going to type if jumping or falling, if e.getx, referring to our player's x value, is less than getx, then we're going to set val x to be 3. And after that, we're going to type, just wait, let me adjust my microphone a bit, sorry about that. Anyway, we're going to type, else if e.getX is greater than getX, then we're going to set val x to -3. Actually, no. In our first if statement, we'll set val x to -3. Now, we're going to scroll down to our true state public void, and we're going to type else if next phase is equal to 1. Then we're going to set boss state equal to boss state dot jumping. I'm going to set jumping equal to true, and gravity equal to 8.0. We need to put a semicolon there instead of the letter L. And at the bottom of this true state void, we're going to set phase time equal to 0. And now we're going to scroll up, and under if boss state is equal to boss state dot jumping or blah 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 blah, attackable is equal to true. Yeah, under that we're going to type if add jump time is equal to true, then jump time plus plus, which is incrementing 1 to jump time. Then if jump time is greater than or equal to 30, which is about half a second. Oops. And we're going to set add jump time equal to false, then jump time equal to 0. And under that if statement, we're going to type if jumping is equal to false and falling is equal to false, then we're going to set jumping equal to true, come on, and gravity equal to 8.0. Oh, and I've just remembered, in Tower Boss, we actually need to go into our handler class. We didn't set the HP integer for our Tower Boss, and let's just set the HP to 3. So yeah, we need to hit him 3 times in order to kill him. One more thing before we run our game. We're going to make another if statement, if phase time. Actually, we're going to do this a different way. We're going to put another set of brackets inside of our if statement. After that, we're going to type or, and put another set of brackets, then or phase time is greater than or equal to 600, and boss state is not equal to boss state dot spinning. So this is pretty much saying if phase time is greater than or equal to 180 and boss state is equal to boss state dot idle, or pretty much this. And if either of those are true, then true state will be called. Sorry if I'm not explaining some things. I'll try to do my best to explain things, but a lot of footage, even just up to now, has been edited out because there's a lot of pause moments wondering what I want to do next, because this is such a big topic and there's so much code with this. So yeah, I'm sorry that this tutorial isn't the highest of qualities. Now, we're going to go into our if boss state is equal to boss state dot jumping if statement in our entity for loop. After if jumping or falling is equal to true, we're going to type else set val x is equal to 0. And after, and I don't know, let's make another if statement just before our if add jump time if statement. We're going to create another if statement, and it's going to be called if state is not equal to boss state dot jumping. Oh, state needs to be boss state. Yeah, we're going to give that a body. And in that, we're going to type add jump time is equal to false and jump time is equal to 0. And we're going to go into our if get bounce bottom if statement in our tile for loop. In our if falling if statement, we're going to give that if statement a body. And under falling is equal to false, we're going to type add jump time is equal to true. Okay, so now let's run our game. Alright, just move our frame in a bit more. As you can see, we have our boss, it's idle, and there you go, our boss starts running. It goes from left to right. Sorry that you can't see the whole screen, by the way. It's because of reasons I explained before. Alright? And yeah, in about 10 seconds it should change its phase, and one of those phases it should start jumping. Come on, start jumping. Start jumping. There we go. As you can see that our little enemy starts jumping, and it follows us wherever we go. Yeah. Even when we're in the air, it still tracks our movement, and there you go. Its phase goes back to running. Okay. And now I just want to show you a little bug I discovered. I'm just gonna type this in, so it'll always be, next phase will always be 1, because this happens when our boss is jumping or when it's spinning. Okay, so our boss is here. Come on, start jumping. Of course it'll start jumping, but as you can see, it has this little shaky effect. And the reason why is because if our x is greater than the enemy's x, then the enemy will go right, and vice versa. The problem with this is, when our player's x and the enemy's x is the same, let's say this line of code will obviously get called first. It'll set val x to -3, so it'll tell the enemy to go right. Then our enemy's x is greater than our x, so this line of code gets called, then the enemy goes right, then it goes left, then it goes right, then it goes left. And it pretty much keeps going on forever, and it makes this little shaky effect, as you probably saw. So to fix that, we're pretty much going to type if get x is greater than or equal to e dot get x minus 4, and get x is less than or equal to e dot get x plus 4. And if that's true, then we're going to set val x to 0. And we're going to make the second if statement an else if as well. So now we'll run our game and we'll see if it works. Okay, we have an enemy here. Alright, and if it jumps on top of us, and yeah, it pretty much does nothing. So now we're gonna go into our player class, and we're gonna make it so our player can actually attack our enemy. In the if statement, where we're checking if e.getId is equal to id.goomba, in our entity for loop, we're gonna type or e.getId is equal to id.towerboss. In the getBounds bottom if statement, in that if statement, before e.die, we're going to create another if statement. If e.getId does not equal to id.towerboss. So of course this will be equal to true when our entity's ID is Goomba. And under that we're going to type else e.hp HP minus minus, so this will take 1 health point away from our enemy. Now E dot falling is equal to true, and just put a semicolon there, and E dot gravity is equal to 0.8, E dot boss state is equal to boss state dot recovering. And under all that, we're going to do things for our player. In Mario games, when the player hits the boss or something, then it automatically does a little jump off of it. Yeah, we're going to program that right now. So jumping will equal to true, true, falling will equal to false, and gravity will equal to let's make it a 3.5. So now let's run our game. And if I've typed the code right, then it should work. Okay. Alright, we'll wait for our guy to start jumping. Come on. Jump! How long does it take for you to jump? You gonna jump? There we go. Maybe it wasn't in focus or something. So we'll go on top of it. And yeah, as you can see, our enemy died straight away. And that's a problem. So to fix that, we're gonna go back into our if statement. And we're gonna type else if e.attackable is equal to true, and under e.bossState is equal to bossState.recovering, we're going to type e.attackable is equal to false. So now we'll run that. And the reason why I died straight away is because we never set attackable equal to false, so we could pretty much keep on attacking it as long as the bottom part of us is colliding with the top part of our enemy. And because it was for more than 3 ticks, yeah, it pretty much set its HP to 0, and we let it die. So now we'll jump on top of it. What the f... I was about to swear there, sorry about the language. Yeah. But before we run our game, we'll actually set the enemy's gravity equal to, let's make it 3.0. Kind of like similarly to what we did with our player's gravity. Okay, so we have our lives. There's our boss. Wait for it to start moving. Okay. Alright, as you can see, our boss fell down and it's recovering. But it's going to recover forever because we haven't actually told it to unrecover after a certain amount of time. So we'll do that right now. And in this big if statement here, in the first set of brackets, we're going to make another set of brackets like this. We're going to surround bossState is equal to bossState.idle, and in that set of brackets we're going to type or bossState is equal to bossState.recovering. Yep, recovering. So now let's run our game. Alright, there's our boss. We'll just wait for it to activate. Well, pretty much start jumping. Jump! Yeah, oh, it is straight away, nice. Alright, so it's recovering, and after 3 seconds it should come back to life. Oh, why is it doing that? It takes a lot longer than usual. So yeah, as you saw, it came back to life, and then yeah, it started jumping again, and we actually got killed by it. Because typing that code, we also added an option to get killed by it. So now we're gonna program our spinning boss state. So if you're not exactly sure what spinning is, then a video will pop on your screen right now. Oh my god, that lawnmower is really, really loud. You guys probably can hear it as well by now. Yeah, I'm sorry. Anyway, we're going to go into our entity for loop, and we're going to go into our if e.getID is equal to id.player if statement, and for if boss state is equal to boss state jumping, we're going to type else if boss state is equal to boss state dot spinning. Alright, we're going to pretty much copy this code from our if boss state is equal to boss state dot jumping if statement and paste it into there. Just remove the else on the first if statement. And actually, I kind of made a mistake with this whole big for loop. We're going to remove the set of brackets covering this sort of area. We're going to remove or boss state is equal to boss state dot recovering. And under that, we're going to type if boss state is equal to boss state dot recovering and phase time is greater than or equal to 180. We're going to set boss state equal to boss state dot spinning, and then of course set phase time equal to 0. And we're going to create another if statement under that, if phase time is greater than or equal to 360, which in case you didn't know is about 6 seconds, being that every second is about 60 ticks, and boss state is equal to boss state dot spinning. Spelled state wrong again, like I always do. Very annoying. Okay. And in here, we're going to set phase time equal to 0 like we usually do, and boss state equal to boss state dot idle. Okay. So now we'll run our game. So you can see, show our lives. Alright, our enemy's idle, but then it started jumping. And now we have 4 lives. Actually, I'm gonna exit this and make it so it can actually run. And I change this big number back to 0, so our enemy has an option to run instead of jump. So yeah, we have our live screen. There's our boss. Wait for it to start moving. As you can see, it's running. We'll step on it. Wait, what? That was way too quick. Oh, I know why. We need to set E. We need to set E dot phase time equal to 0. Because our phase time never reset and it kept going from the phase time used to count this running phase. So now we'll jump on it. As you can see, it's just standing there. Now our guy is sort of spinning. Well, just imagine it's a little prickly shell spinning, a spiky shell. Yeah, it's jumping. Hit it. And we're just gonna keep doing this until we kill him. Alright, it's idle for a second. Okay, so now it's running. We'll kill him. And there you go. As you can see, we have killed our tower boss, and we have pretty much finished this long as tutorial. So, anyway, thanks to WolfJR for suggesting this tutorial topic. And yeah, I'm going to wrap up this episode here. If you enjoyed, feel free to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. If someone you know is interested in learning how to program in Java, please send them this tutorial. If you have a Twitter account, please feel free to follow me on Twitter. And leave a comment in the comment section below suggesting what next tutorial's topic will be. So, see you guys soon. Bye.